Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. The topic of this video is pain sensation. Let's begin. Pain is an unpleasant sensation. Pain serves as a protective function by signaling the presence of noxious and tissue damaging conditions. From a medical standpoint, the subjective description and location of the pain may help pinpoint the underlying cause of the disease. A nociceptor is a sensory receptor that responds to potentially damaging stimuli by sending nerve signals to the spinal cord and the brain. This process is called the nociception, and it usually causes the perception of the pain. There are various varieties of nociceptors. Thermal nociceptors are activated by noxious heat or cold at various temperatures. Mechanical nociceptors respond to excess pressure or mechanical deformation. They also respond to incisions that break the skin surface. These mechanical nociceptors frequently have polymodal characteristics, which means that they can be activated by more than one type of stimuli. So, it is possible that some of the transducers for thermal stimuli are the same for the mechanical stimuli. Chemical nociceptors respond to a variety of spices commonly used in cooking. The one that sees the most response and is widely tested is the capsaicin. Besides the external stimulants, chemical nociceptors have the capacity to detect a variety of endogenous ligands, including histamine and bradykinin. They also detect certain fatty acids and amines that arise from changes in the internal tissues. Nociceptors may be connected to either of the two types of axons listed here. The A delta fiber axons are myelinated and can allow an action potential to travel at a rate of about 20 meters per second towards the central nervous system. The second type is the C fiber axons, which are slowly conducting, unmyelinated fibers. These only conduct at a speeds of around 2 meters per second. There are two types of pain, fast and slow. The perception of fast pain occurs very rapidly, usually within 0.1 seconds after application of a stimulus. Pain felt from a needle puncture or knife cut to the skin is fast pain. This type of pain is described by the person as acute, sharp, or pricking pain. Fast pain usually originates from the skin and the superficial tissues of the body. Fast pain is conducted by the medium diameter myelinated nerve fibers. The site of origin of fast pain can be precisely located by an individual, so most of the times we exactly know the location of the injury. The perception of slow pain, by contrast, begins a second or more after a stimulus is applied. It then gradually increases in intensity over a period of several seconds or minutes. The pain felt on the skin after being hit by a tennis ball, or pain felt in the abdomen after eating a heavy meal rich in spices and fats, is the slow pain. The slow type of pain, which may be excruciating, is best described by the person as chronic, burning, aching, or throbbing pain. Slow pain can occur both in the skin and the deeper tissues of the internal organs. Impulses from slow pain conduct along small diameter unmyelinated nerve fibers. The localization of site of slow pain may not be very precise. Imagine the feeling of pain over a large area of abdomen after a heavy and spicy meal. You can perceive the difference in onset of these two types of pain best when you injure a body part that is far from the brain, because the conduction distance is long. When you stub your toe, for example, you first feel the sharp sensation of fast pain and then feel the slower aching sensation of the slow pain. The two types of pain nerve fibers are segregated in the spinal cord into two distinct pathways, namely neospinothalamic and paleospinothalamic pathways. The first order neurons carrying fast pain through the A delta fiber types make synaptic connections with the neuron present in the lamina 1 of the dorsal horn. The neurotransmitter released by the first order neurons is most likely glutamate. The second order neurons originating from lamina 1 gave rise to the neospinothalamic tract in the spinal cord. Most of these neurons project all the way to the ventral posterolateral nucleus of the thalamus, which is also known as the ventrobasal thalamus. Only some of these fibers terminate in the brainstem reticular formation. From here, the third order thalamic neurons project to the primary somatosensory cortex. It is believed that the main function of the neospinothalamic tract is to facilitate precise localization of the pain. Now let's talk about the paleospinothalamic pathway. The first order neurons carrying slow pain through the type C fibers make synaptic connection primarily with the neurons present in the lamina 2 and lamina 3 of the dorsal horn, which is also known as the lamina gelatinosa. Substance P is the most likely neurotransmitter released by these first order neurons. The second order neurons, primarily originating from lamina gelatinosa as well as the lamina 5, give rise to the paleospinothalamic tract in the spinal cord. Most of these neurons terminate in one of the three locations, namely the reticular nuclei of the brainstem, or the tectal area of the mesencephalon deep to the superior and inferior colliculi, or the periaqueductal gray region surrounding the aqueduct of Sylvius. From here, the third order thalamic neurons project to the primary somatosensory cortex. Localization of pain transmitted via the paleospinothalamic pathway is imprecise. This explains why patients often have serious difficulty in localizing the source of some of the chronic types of pain. Transmission of slow pain to the lower regions of the brain mentioned above appear to be important for feeling the suffering of the pain. The role of primary somatosensory cortex in pain perception is not entirely clear. Complete removal of the primary sensory cortex does not eliminate the perception of pain. Such lesions do, however, interfere with the ability to interpret the quality of the pain and to determine its precise location. Therefore, it is likely that pain impulses entering the brainstem reticular formation, the thalamus, and other lower brain centers have important role in conscious perception of pain. The reticular areas of the brainstem and the intralaminar nuclei of the thalamus are the areas where the slow type of pain terminates. These two areas constitute part of brain's principal arousal system concerned with control of alertness and sleep. Electrical stimulation of the same areas produce a strong arousal effect on nervous activity throughout the entire brain. This explains why it is almost impossible for a person to sleep when in severe pain. Pain from different viscera present in thoracic and abdominal cavity is often difficult to localize. An important explanation of this mechanism is that sensations from the abdomen and thorax are transmitted through two different pathways to the central nervous system. These distinct pathways are named as the true visceral pathway and the parietal pathway. Experience of pain conveyed through these two pathways have special clinical features as well as quite different clinical interventions required for proper care. The visceral pain originates within the hollow organs or viscera due to local inflammation, ischemia, or distension. This pain sensation is carried by unmyelinated slow conducting type C fibers and reach the spinal cord through the autonomic nerves. True visceral pain is diffused over a large area of the abdominal or thoracic cavity and is not well localized. This pain has a dull and aching character and usually its intensity is mild to moderate. On the other hand, the visceral pain originating when the pus or body secretions force their way out of the cavities of the viscera and start inflammating the parietal layer of peritoneum covering the hollow organs. This type of pain is usually carried by myelinated, fast conducting A delta fibers and reach the spinal cord through the spinal nerves. The important feature of parietal pain is that the patient can exactly locate the site of origin of pain with good accuracy. Moreover, this pain is sharp and usually very severe in intensity. Pain from the viscera is frequently experienced in two surface areas of the body at the same time. This is because of the dual transmission of pain through the referred visceral pathway and the direct parietal pathway. The dual transmission from an inflamed appendix is shown in the diagram. Pain impulses passed first from the appendix through visceral pain fibers located within sympathetic nerve bundles and then into the spinal cord at about the level of T10 or T11. This pain is referred to an area around the umbilicus and is of aching, cramping type. Pain impulses also often originate in the parietal peritoneum where the inflamed appendix touches or is adherent to the abdominal wall. These impulses cause pain of sharp type directly over the irritated peritoneum in the right lower quadrant of the abdomen. Thanks for watching and listening. Do share this video with your friends and colleagues. If you like this video, subscribe to this channel for watching more videos.